What it do, baby boo? It's your boy King Areno here, and today we're discussing one-trick ponies. We're talking about those people that when you load into the game, you see they have 1 million, 2 million, 5 million mastery points on the champion, and you go, wow, this person knows, understands, and may actually just be really, really good at this champion. Since Riot implemented the mastery point system, it makes it a lot easier to be able to define and to see who these one-trick players are, people who have an understanding and mastery of these champions, and why you may want to be a one-trick pony if you're trying to climb in Season 11. At the end of the day, it's always up to you. Play the game how you see it, but one of the things that's definitely been most reliable is establishing a champion to be a one-trick on and climbing that way. In my previous video, we discussed having a champion pool and why having a champion pool is very useful and very beneficial. In this video, we're discussing not the opposite, but fundamentally what goes into being a one-trick. Being a one-trick means mastering and understanding a champion. So when you pick your one-trick, you want to pick a champion that you almost vibe with on a personal level. A champion that it's not just that they have a high win rate. It's a champion that you can see yourself playing for a prolonged period of time, because this might be the champion that you not only just play to climb for this season, this may be the champion that you play for the rest of the time that you're playing League of Legends. Whether that's just getting to whatever rank you're looking for, or potentially finding your way into the pro scene. You're going to want to look at a champion that kit-wise, schematics, style, just all around fits something that you're looking for and fits something that a mold that you yourself kind of vibe with on, I would even say on like a personal level. Like if you connect with a champion, and it sounds crazy, but you have to think people connect with movie characters, people connect with comic book and cartoons and anime, people connect with people in movies and television and things like that. So having a connection with a video game character isn't that far-fetched. So when you find that connection, mastering that champion doesn't just mean hitting Mastery 7, because hitting Mastery 7 is just showing that you have an understanding of what that champion can and can't do. Having a true mastery of that champion means that you understand how to play that character in all phases of the game. Whether it's the early game, the mid game, the late game, whether you are behind on the champion, ahead on the champion, or going even. One of the things that I've always found very interesting when you're in a game and you get people who are trying to forfeit because they're behind, or trying to surrender because they're behind. If you've ever played with someone who's a one trick, they don't forfeit. A true one trick, a true master of the game doesn't surrender, because they've played that champion and have such a mastery of that champion. They understand and they know where they can come back into the game, and where they can see their power spike, and where they can take advantage of the later stages of the game. They start to understand, okay, I may be down now, I may be behind now, but because I played thousands of games on this champion, hundreds to start off, of course, but thousands of games on this champion, I know where I'll be able to pick up the slack. It's one of those things that I think comes with familiarity and true understanding of play style, again, wave management. These are all things that also, while you're one-tricking, become second nature. Because you are only playing one champion, it turns into one of those fear the man or person, really, let's be honest. Fear the person who practices one move 1,000 times, not the person that practices 1,000 moves one time. You want that person who has honed their skills. You want to be that person that has honed their abilities, that has a full just wealth of knowledge. That's the other fun thing. If you have one tricks, or if you're in a community where you can talk to one tricks, just poke their brains a little bit. You're gonna want to talk to them about why do you play the champion? What makes you want to continue to play the champion? Wow, you have 600 games this season. You have 1,000 games this season on this champion. What drew you to him? What are some things that you learn? I personally, I enjoy learning the little like nuance, a little minutia in champion matchups that one tricks really know. So you may have a general knowledge or general understanding of a champion, but a one trick knows like how the interactions between abilities and passives and item abilities work. So they have just that much more of an edge when it comes to making that push and making that, making moves and progressing through the season, progressing as they play. Brings me to another point. When you are one tricking a champion, it also makes it easier for you to learn the game because you're playing from one like standpoint. You're playing from the position of let's use Zed as an example. You're playing Zed. You're not playing 10 other champions. You are solely trying your best to play Zed, which means you're going to play Zed against every other matchup countless numbers of times. Now, if somebody who isn't a one trick or doesn't have a refined or small champion pool is playing against you, yeah, they may have like 5 or 10 games on Malzahar, and they're going, yeah, I'm going to counter this guy. I'm going to counter the assassin. I got the counter pick. This is going to be easy. But because they've only played maybe 3 Zeds as Malzahar, whereas the Zed player has played 50 games against Malzahar with varying skills, that Zed player is going to have a leg up. That Zed player is going to have an understanding because they played that champion and understand that champion and understand that matchup better than the person who has the counter matchup. Now, similar to the champion pool video, when you're picking your champion, you're going to want to figure out a champion in which you will have the opportunity to actually play. So this one will actually focus more on the ban rates of champions. Samira has a 72% ban rate. Good God, she's nerfed into the ground. This is just an aside. I'm actually just blown away. That's insane to me. But you're going to want to pick a champion that doesn't have a super high ban rate. Yes, it's fun to play the super strong and broken champions, but because they're so strong, they tend to be banned out a lot, which will give you less opportunity to play them, less opportunity to practice them, less opportunity to understand and get better at them, and less opportunity to climb. And at the end of the day, if you are a competitive player, if you're looking to climb in ranked, even if you're just looking to get better at the game, how are you going to get better at one tricking your champion if they never get through pick or ban, right? So not always, but usually you want to look realistically for a champion that's like under 5%. I know in the champion pool video we said between 10 and 7, but if you're one tricking a champion, you don't want to risk the higher side of your champion being banned out. So you want to even bring it down a little bit. Of course, you're trying to figure out or understand what lane you play, whether it's the jungle, the top lane, mid lane, AD carry, or support, or even now so AP carries. So Riot has done their darndest and has done their best, and the bot lane is truly becoming a bot lane meta, not so much an AD carry or AD carry and support. I've seen AP carry and bruiser and AP carry and additional AP carry. So however the game ends up transitioning and transforming, we'll continue to see how that plays out. But you want to make sure that you're getting that champion. Again, if you play that champion enough times, you're going to be able to understand and find and figure out different play styles for the champion that you pick. So if you're picking Ryze, you may want to, Ryze is normally a late game champion, but Ryze is only a late game champion to those that are average with Ryze and those that don't understand where to take advantage of his power spikes. Tell Doingby that Ryze is a late game champion. Doingby is the former world mid lane world champion, and he made a name for himself as a Ryze, not a Ryze one trick, but he had very unique picks, but Ryze was one of his dominant champions. Ryze again was known to be a mid lane pick or a late game pick, but the way Doingby played Ryze, he itemized because he played the champion so much and he had such a grasp of understanding of the champion. He was able to say, you know what, we don't need to stack as much mana. I can build defensively so that way I can be in the middle of the fights. And these are all things that you can only do when you one trick a champion, because you're also able to experiment. So someone like Forest Within, who's the Kindred one trick, for the majority of this preseason 11, we are currently on patch 10.25. But for the majority of preseason 11, homeboy, or the majority of tier lists and analysts were saying that Kindred, it was in a bad spot. Kindred wasn't good. Kindred wasn't in the right place. But that's because they were building them incorrectly. They were trying to build Kindred the same way that they built them back in season 10. But with these item changes, Forest, who is the Kindred one trick, who plays anywhere between 8 to 16, 20 games in a day on Kindred, is saying, hey, look, these are different build paths that we can use, and here are the most optimal. Stop going on these sites that are saying that she's bad and giving you these bad builds. I'm the guy that's playing 20 games a day on Kindred. Forest Within also has a YouTube channel, and I believe he streams during the day, so he doesn't know who I am, but, you know, I try to stay up to date with at least some of the streamers and especially some of the popular one tricks, because I think having that wealth of knowledge is very, very helpful. But recently he came out with this, it's like a Triforce Mirror Mana build after they changed the Mirror Mana. And he's, you know, still climbing, he's still winning in Diamond, in Masters, Grandmasters, Challenger, on a champion that people were writing off and basically calling dead. And that comes from understanding the champion's ins and outs, and then being able to kind of like branch out and understand what's going on when it comes to that champion. Likewise, when it comes to the ban rates, like I said, you do want to make sure that your champion isn't banned out, but you also want to make sure that they're not being banned out because they're bad. It really, really, really sucks because of how the patching works in League of Legends. This game gets patched every 2 weeks approximately, right? So 1 week your Rel jungle pick may be the strongest pick in the meta, it's unstoppable, and 2 weeks later Riot comes in with a nerf bat and sorry, your champion just ceases to exist. So that's when we talk about similar things that we discussed when we were talking about the champion pool video. Make sure you go back and check that out. You had your pick rates and your ban rates. Again, your overall presence. You want to keep your presence low of the champion that you pick, so that way you're getting to play them, but then they're also not so high that they're definitely going to be nerfed or reworked or anything of that nature. Lastly, what I wanted to talk about when it comes to one tricking is the grueling part of learning the one trick. So one of the hardest parts, so for those of you that don't know, I'm primarily an AD carry player. I've played all the roles because I've been playing this game for forever now. And I think it was season 5 or season 6, I one tricked Fiora. Literally the entire season only played Fiora. So I think it was season 5, it was shortly after the rework. Or it might have been she got reworked in season 5 and I played it through season 6. My brain shot. And the growing pains of learning the champion, learning the matchups, at first was super hard. It was super difficult. It was really, really painful. I was losing a ton of games. I had to stop playing ranked. I had to go back to playing normals. And then I think at the time there was like dynamic queues. So at least with my friends, I was able to kind of figure out and learn matchups. And it wasn't in a super tilting arena. I wasn't like just constantly losing LP, going down to like bronze. And I don't think iron existed at the time. But you're going to have to like fight through that. That's why there are certain graphs on champions. Like I'll see if I can pull one up for Graves. So it was on op.na.g. Is it op.na? na.op.gg. You'll see. Let's see if they have it. Maybe they don't have it here. There used to be a stat where it showed like numbers of games on a champion. Trends. Maybe it's under trends. Game length. But they used to show number of games on a champion. So if you played a champion 10 games, you had like this win rate. And then when you played in 50 games, you had this win rate. And then once you passed like 200 games, you had this win rate. And that's just the way it is. And a lot of times the way it goes is when you first start playing a champion, it's kind of like that beginner's luck. It's kind of like, hey, it's new, exciting. You might have a little bit higher of a win rate. And then slowly it starts to come down. Well, it might not even be slowly. It'll come down. And then you have to really figure out, okay, what am I learning right now? Because when you're in that stage where you're learning, it's the hardest part because you're not winning. You may not be having as much fun. You're learning, again, those little itty details, the ins and outs, and you're really trying to figure out what can I do to get better at this champion. So ultimately, when you start coming back up that win rate, then you reap the benefits of what you sow. You invested the time, you invested the knowledge to learn how to play the champion, and now you're winning. With that being said, feel free to drop by the stream. I stream at twitch.tv /call_me_king. And again, that's twitch.tv /call_me_king. I stream Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 8 to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Feel free to drop a like, share this video. If you're in the communities that this video is being shared, feel free to discuss. If you have differing opinions, if you think having a vast champion pool is the way to play the game, or if you think the small champion pool like the video before, let me know. I'm eager. I love having discussions. I love talking theory, talking strategy, and that's pretty much what we do here on the stream. Between gameplay, we discuss builds, we discuss state of game, state of the meta, and a whole bunch of other things. So feel free to drop a follow, drop a like, come through the stream, and I'll look forward to seeing you. Make sure you have locked in the right runes, taken the right masteries, and you have a prosperous Season 11. It's been your boy King. Peace!